Hi, everyone. I'm Monique Denal with MD Consulting. Today's topic is about how to manage your emotions in the workplace. How many of you really get frustrated with your coworkers or with stakeholders, and your frustration shows, your anger shows? Now, some of my clients try really hard to put on a poker face, but most people can see through that. So let's talk a little bit about what you can do in the workplace when your emotions start to become really intense. Really, emotional management is not about putting on a poker face or stuffing down those emotions. But really, what it is about is being aware of the emotions and then getting yourself really grounded so that you can choose how you want to respond. And that is equivalent to a young child taking a time out, except in the workplace, we can't always do that. There's not always time in the middle of a meeting to get up and walk away for 5 minutes. So I want to talk to you about a few techniques today that you can use to become more aware of your triggers and then how to get yourself grounded so that you can respond in a more professional way. So really it's two steps. It's being aware and then getting yourself grounded. Being aware means really being in touch with what you're feeling in the moment when your emotions start to become really intense. So that means paying attention to your heart rate. Is your heart rate going up? Are your palms getting sweaty? Are you feeling warm in the face? Anything like that. Are you gritting your teeth, clenching your jaw? These are the things that start to happen when emotions become really intense. So the first step is to be aware of when that's happening and what kinds of things or what kind of people are triggering those responses. Because ultimately, if it's a trigger that you can avoid, that's the better way to respond, but that's not always possible. So at least be aware of what is happening in your body at the moment so that you know that your emotions are starting to become intense. The next step is to get yourself grounded. And there are a few ways that you can do that in the moment, right in front of people where they don't even know you're doing it. So these are really great techniques. One of them is called 427 breathing, 427 breathing. And what that means is that you inhale a breath for the count of 4. So it's a pretty slow inhale. You hold it for 2 counts and you release it on a count of 7. So it's 4 counts in, hold it for 2, release it for the count of 7. It's a slow breathing. And what happens when emotions start to get really intense is that we also start to breathe faster. We start to breathe from our chest, so really shallow breathing. And that impacts a lot of things. It impacts how our voice sounds when we're speaking. It impacts our body language. A lot of people stop making eye contact when they are doing shallow breathing, which really impacts our ability to influence a conversation. So it's really important that you slow down your breathing to slow down your heart rate. And you can do that with 427 breathing. And nobody even knows that you're doing it. So that is something that can be done immediately. You can even be practicing it right now while you're watching this video. The other thing you can do is pay attention to your hands and your feet. If your hands and feet are grounded and touching something like a hard surface, you will be able to control your emotions a lot better because you will be grounding yourself, literally grounding yourself. Put your feet flat on the floor, put your hands flat on the desk or on the table or on some kind of a solid surface. So you're pretty much bringing your body back into the present moment, which is really important because when we start to become angry, we begin to lose our perspective and our mind starts spinning and telling us all kinds of different stories, like, I'm really upset, this person is doing this on purpose. So our mind starts spinning, and it takes us out of the present moment. So putting your body on something hard, hands on the table, feet flat on the floor, will help to ground you. The third suggestion for getting grounded immediately in the moment is something called relational awareness. So what that means is that you will pay attention to two things at the same time. And an example would be, you will pay attention to the conversation that you're having with the person who's upsetting you, but you will also pay attention to, say, your left thumb. So by doing that, you're splitting your focus purposely. And that is another thing that brings you back into the present moment and gets you really grounded. You're paying attention to something on your body or the pencil that's in your hand at the same time that you're listening to the conversation. So try those three things: 427 breathing, grounding your hands and feet, and relational awareness in order to get yourself grounded and back in the present moment. What happens when we get angry or frustrated or upset or even defensive is there's a physiological response in our body that causes our heart rate to go up, our breathing to quicken, our mind to start spinning these stories. So by being aware when that's happening and then using these grounding techniques, you short circuit that physiological response, and it can work immediately. So I really would encourage you to try this. You can try it any place, with any person, with any situation. Once you are aware of your triggers and what's happening in your body, and once you get grounded, then you have the ability to choose how you're going to respond to that situation. And that's a topic for a whole nother video, is how to respond. But there are many ways you can respond once you become more rational. That could include having a different type of conversation with the person, using different words, maybe not responding at all, maybe just ignoring it, depending on the situation. But my point is that first you have to be aware of what's causing the triggers, and then you have to get yourself grounded. And then it puts you in a better position to choose how to handle things. Now, emotional management is a highly coveted leadership skill. Not a lot of leaders can do it, and they can't do it well. So the better you are at this, the more influential you will be in the workplace, the more emphasis you will be able to give people and help them to manage their own emotions. So if you're running a team and you have someone on the team that is doing the same thing, the better you are at this, the better you will be able to set an example and mentor your people with the same type of skill. Try some of these techniques and let me know how it goes. Have a great day.